Mr. E, some familiar faces this weekend and just around Smash in general.
Yeah, they got crowned Commissioner's Cup champions earlier in the day, and now they are forced to square off with only one getting the chance to go to grand finals. The other one's going to have to go down to losers and take on Atomic or some of these other players that have really been getting better as the day has gone on, and going to be a lot of rematches, a lot of familiar faces. This is going to be a Fisher Civil War.
I mean, we've got 4 players left in the tournament. Tilde, Mr. E, Atomic, and Frostbite. Loser of this will face the winner of Atomic and Frostbite there in the lower side. And one thing I will say, Mr. E just got off of a game against Lombardi, which means he does at least, like, literally just got off a set against a Falco. So that may be a little point in their favor. But Tilde right now, in control of the first stock. Not going to hit that back air, though. The DI, just a little bit too far out of the way from Mr. E.
Yeah, so far so good for Tilde, but Mr. E getting his licks in here and there. Expecting a very, very close series this time around. Definitely not expecting that 3-0.
I mean, 2 players that know each other quite well.
Got the same jersey on.
Same jersey, go to the same school, probably end up meeting each other in a ton of brackets. So far, lead really in Tilde's hands. The combos have been there from Tilde, as we've seen previously. And yeah, just these follow-ups and constantly hitting those back airs.
Yeah, that'll play if you're Tilde all day long. Sitting at about 98, you'd love to try to hold on to the stock a little bit longer, but Mr. E not going to allow any chance to get back up. Try to zone off a little bit there. Good job of it, but great job by Tilde to recover.
Yeah, 136 now. Mr. E trying to keep themselves low in percent, deny any kind of extra credit. Tilde a little calmer now that they're at 145, and Mr. E, the patented down air from the Lucina at the ledge. Of course, Falco having a very, very predictable recovery right there makes it quite easy to time that. Mr. E has been no slouch with finding those spikes. Did it against Lombardi more than a few times in that past set.
Yeah, this game's just a case of Tilde being first to the punch, usually the first one to make the move, able to land that initial combo, and then try to get Mr. E a little bit off balance, a little bit off kiltered. Very, very even game, though. The percentages are essentially locked. The stocks are locked, and now Tilde going back to work in the air. Mr. E getting pieced up off the left side, should be able to recover fairly easily. He's going to up B, slip past Tilde, and then Tilde will respond to get back by himself.
Has to get back to stage, though. Side B was good for a second, but ends up getting caught by the tilts by Mr. E, and little juggle comes through in the end. Ties up the percentage. Oh, shields the side B and an instant up B out of it to answer that. And oh, just a shake up on the angle from Tilde. That's what you got to start doing. Am I going to go straight up? Am I going to go straight horizontal? A little more diagonal? You have the flexibility, and that will throw off Mr. E's timing on the down air. Stop yourself from getting caught by any of those crazy spikes. Still, though, Mr. E does find the stock.
Yeah, a lot of fighting off the edge of the stage here. Both players willing to take that chance and try to make a play, and there
Dead
it
evens.
is. Tilde going to make it even Stevens into the last stock in game 1 in the winners final, best of 5. Winner will go right on to grands. You get to sit for a little bit, scout your opponent, see what's up, take a little break if you need, and you get to reset, come back, and try to win that top prize.
That's the thing. If you find yourself in winner's side of grand finals, you basically just get to watch the rest of losers and soak up knowledge and information and everything about your opponents. Just about anything you want to learn about their patterns, as long as you're taking your notes correctly. Tilde back in control of this, though. It was definitely Mr. E-sided for a little bit there, but and the percentage still going over to Mr. E, but Tilde had been the one on stage for a long time there. Mr. E back in the flow of things now.
Yeah, I think finding his footing a little more. I think getting that the second stock, he ended up flipping and kind of taking the lead over Tilde, and so far, been pretty clean throughout. Both players, you can tell they don't want to overextend. They don't want to make that key mistake. Otherwise, it is going to be night-night for one of them. Mr. E going to try to zone off Tilde. Tilde makes it back with ease, but he's going to get sent off yet again. Mr. E just trying to do his best of controlling the space and the engagements. Tilde going to flip the map for now, though. It's a bit of a back and forth. Both these players are just content to sit here and keep flipping.
Catches the roll, but it's not going to kill. 150%. The back air has to clean it up in the end. Mr. E A tight game from both sides. Mr. E, that final stock was a little bit more favored towards the Lucina, just keeping a percentage lead most of the time and started controlling the stage pretty well. It was, I'm going to sit here. Tilde's got to get back to the stage. I'll just wait to see what they do. Make the read, make the reaction right there. And, of course, that up tilt was a product of that to find the final kill right there. Tilde now needs, I would say needs a breather for a sec. Think about it. Think about why that game ended how it did. Not necessarily any huge mistakes or anything from either of these players.
Tighten it up a little bit.
Tighten it up a little bit. I think there was a lot of side Bs from the Falco, the illusion right there, and I don't know if it was really too good in the sense of Mr. E was just constantly shielding them. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you hit that side B and it can lead into either a kill confirm if you have that back air available depending on the percentage. I know up air also works in a lot of those situations.
And I think we saw Tilde, the side B was working a lot in the last series. Every series obviously different, so if it's not working against Mr. E and he's playing it correctly, you definitely got to make an adjustment. And I'm sure that's something Mr. E is aware of as well. He played against Tilde, played with Tilde, and you get a good feeling of what is going to play out.
Just relying a little bit too much on that, but it's still going to give Tilde the lead. Even getting punished, that's really a lot of the percentage that Tilde has taken was those side Bs getting punished. Just out of range there for Mr. E to find that one, and full 4 hits from the side B. The tech comes through, another tech! Tilde on top of things as Mr. E flips it around, barely takes any, I don't think took any damage, since we were basically saying Tilde actually had the lead.
Yeah, we started like 80-0, and then it looked like Mr. E was going to be down in the dumps, and ultimately makes the comeback and completely controls and shuts down the right side of the stage. And there you go, Tilde instantly going to find the answer. Only 13% on the board as well. So a good spot to be in, basically where we were in game 1.
Boom, dunk. Doesn't actually get the bounce off the stage, though. A little too low percent. Follow it up, at least with the fair. Now, luckily with the disjoint from Lucina, you can actually contest the dare on the way down, and it shouldn't be too bad. You're more often than not just hitting the Falco and not worrying about losing any percent yourself or anything getting started for Tilde. You can keep the juggle going.
Yeah, that's the name of the game for Tilde, is keep Mr. E popped up in the air and just continue to lay out absolute violence. But percentage slightly favoring Mr. E so far, and now it's going to be a shot to Tilde to send him off to the left, but Tilde in response will find one, but Mr. E thought maybe the kill would have come through, but 137%, you've got to think it's now, and there it is, Mr. E, 2 stocks off Tilde in game 2, trying to see if he can walk away, get a little more percentage here, and then lock this one up with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and of course, playing the Lucina, non-existent, but the spacing there from Mr. E, literally hitting like the tippers on a lot of these, of course. Not on the Marth, so not going to change anything, but it just goes to show how clinical this spacing has been, especially on the back airs, just on stage to find some of these kills. Tilde, though, answers back with a kill, and not too far behind, but always caught at this ledge, and you get into a situation where you're charging up that up B, and Mr. E will take the opportunity to go off stage, either to find the down air, find the up B as well to try and get a little stage spike situation. Tilde has been on top of the techs there. Has not missed one just yet.
Yeah, Tilde's got to play from behind, though, and you have to be very careful, especially against Lucina and Mr. E. Sitting at 100%, you've got to try to find a few combos, string them together, get Mr. E off the back foot, take him out of his comfort zone. Otherwise, it is looking clean and looking like Mr. E is setting himself up at least in the position to walk away with the win.
Down tilt. Leads into an up air. Nothing to follow up, though, and Mr. E just calmly gets back up from the ledge. Tilde, follow-ups. Trying to find something, but can't even find a combo starter there. Even the down tilt ended up not being able to link into much, as Mr. E just wants to go back to center stage. This is where Mr. E will live, is right under that center plat, and wants this Falco on that platform. Mr. E, the spike! Once again,
Bait and switch.
The up B constantly going to be punished. You can't charge that in front of me, not if you think you're going straight 90 degrees upwards. Not against the Lucina.
That was identical to game one, almost to the percent.
Yeah, almost exactly. And yeah, it's a 2-0 in the series right now, but you see how close the endings of those games get. It really does give you an idea of where these players are kind of matched up against each other there.
This could be 2-0 Tilde or 1-1 extremely easily.
Yeah, 100%. It just depends on how it ends there. But Mr. E, the offstage game has been there. That's a few kills now. Out of the 6 stocks, I think about 3 of them have been off of either the down air or just like the up Bs off the ledge as well. Stray back airs have always been good for Mr. E to find kills. Not to mention,
I want to see Tilde get off to a hot start this time as well. It seemed like Mr. E, at least in game 1, and I think part of game 2 was just landing those first couple combos and racking up that percentage nice and early. Give yourself that little extra cushion. Make your life just a little bit easier as the game will continue to play out. So maybe Tilde try to space a little bit more and then find that timing to close the distance and really try to piece up Mr. E the best that you can. But this game, a little bit more passive to start. Everyone trying to...
Checking out the stats too. Going back into the past, Tilde, 36% win rate in sets against Mr. E. 5-9 right now, so definitely a Mr. E favored matchup between these two players. I think that does come down a little bit to, of course, playing the sword fighter into the Falco as well. But there are a few where Tilde has taken it, especially back in, I think I could check even what tournament this was at too.
Well, Tilde's going to draw first blood for this too, so that is exactly what you need. You're down 2-0. You have no more chances, at least in this series potentially. Obviously, the lower bracket will be waiting with welcome and open arms should you end up there. It's a reverse sweep. It does not end up getting pulled off, but Mr. E finally getting some damage in. Took a little bit. We saw Tilde staying healthy and staying up for a good while there. Now Mr. E trying to go back to his wheelhouse, which is keep Tilde in jail on the side of the stage and then find that kill.
Going to Kalos now. You saw it there. Tilde has the opportunity to actually jump off the wall. Do the little wall tech right there, which does mean you have just another way to kind of mix up your recovery and not make it so linear and slow for the most part.
The standoff right now between E and Tilde.
Literally just staring each other down for a second.
No, you move. Actually, it will be Tilde moving first and going to find a few nice combos. Definitely a cleaner game out of Tilde so far. Mr. E hasn't been able to find those cheeky side ledge kills or some of the other ways that he was exploiting some of Tilde's open opportunities there, but still a very, very even game. Expected nothing less. Mr. E would love to take the lead, though, after being down all game.
Yeah, had a bit of a lead on this stock for a bit there, and I like that from Tilde. Do not hold the shield. Let yourself soak the 15, 17% instead of having the shield break and more than likely death. Surprised that wasn't likely death right there. And wall jump, as I said, will let you kind of finesse and switch things up, but it still is going to be Mr. E. Classic down air. Not the spike that time, but spike not necessary. High enough percent. Side hitbox will still kill.
Yeah, and all the good work that Tilde did can be undone in the next 30 seconds if Mr. E can just string together absolute combinations and really get that damage up there. And at least even if E loses that second stock, then you can be maybe one stock, 80, 90, 100% if things keep going your way. And they're not going too bad for Mr. E so far. We're sitting at about 65, and that's going to count up significantly faster as he is continuing to hack and slash away.
Off stage now. Tilde constantly going deep for these hits, and techs off the wall, makes it back to stage with the follow-up up B, keeping themselves alive for now, but it's still a stock lead for Mr. E. Feels comfortable in this game 3, try and sweep their way to grand finals. Tilde trying to fight the demon. As we said, 36% win rate only against Mr. E. 9 to 5 in sets in favor of Mr. E.
Tilde has got to. I mean, there's also 2 minutes and 50
you
seconds
go.
left in the game.
We do see the down tilt kill.
Fortunately, though, 126 is a high number.
Between these two players, yes, they've been playing quite calmly in the end and not very like rush down or anything. I don't know if we go to time here necessarily.
No, yeah, I think it's like the longest game
Also,
that we've had today.
Flex
That's
the
why.
parries a little more, Mr. E. 1, 2, 3, why don't you?
He can probably hear it. He might.
Yeah, I
Say
hope
less.
so.
Uh-oh.
The counter off stage
There it is.
to guarantee the kill. Still 0% on that final stock. Mr. E is going to be your first half of Grand